Daily drive-by. Welcome back to a new beautiful week. The sun is fucking coming up. The sun is shining. We just got done doing 90-90s. And if you guys don't know what that is, I didn't either until I started in this endurance space. But shout out to my boy Tone for meeting me at the track at 5:30 in the morning to do 90-90s. There was a 15-minute easy warm-up, and the 90-90s are 90 seconds of zone 5 heart rate, getting it. Then 90 seconds walking to recover. Then 90 seconds of getting it. 90 seconds recover. Do that 10 times, and then you have a 15-minute cool down. And by golly, I was dying. Not only can I not breathe 90%, but I can't freaking run 90% right now because of the way my head feels. But we got it in, we got it done. Get around people that challenge you. Get around people that make you better. Get around people that get you uncomfortable. And not only that, but for those of you that don't know, for those of you that aren't watching the podcast because you a hoe, just know that season 1 has commenced. Season 1 is over with. Season 1 is in the books, people. And I couldn't be happier with it. I'm going to sit here and, talk about a little bit of what Dylan and I have done during season 1 that makes me happy with the way that it went. Season 1 of the podcast, Dylan and I were finally back together. We would record them in our studio in South Carolina. And it was a lot of fun to be able to get together weekly with Dylan to chop it up in person. It gives some sort of different energy, different camaraderie, different outlook for the podcast. And throughout that, there was a plethora of very meaningful, deep conversations. There was fun conversations. There was random conversations. But most importantly, and most of all, there was consistent conversations. We didn't miss a single week despite how busy we were. We didn't make excuses when times got hard, when we weren't motivated. None of that. Now, would that have did that reflect on the episodes? Yeah, it simply could have. But I think what's important in this message right here that I'm telling you guys about is that we are all working towards something. We're all working to be better in our lives. We're all working to be a better husband, wife, a better boyfriend, girlfriend. We're all working to be a better friend, a better person. We're all working to start our own business. We're all working to get better physically and mentally. Like whatever that is, we are all working towards something. And even if you aren't working towards all of those things that I just named, that's fine. You shouldn't be. What you're working on is your own journey. Is it your professional career? Is it your personal journey? Like, what is that? Is it the change you want to see not only within you, but within the environment around you? And so we're all working towards something that we want to achieve, that we want to accomplish. And so what's important in this message is that you cannot make excuses when you're working towards something. When you say that you're going to do something, you have to follow through with that. Because just like anything, when you lie to yourself, your brain is subconsciously saying like, oh, I can do it again. I can do it again. Imagine if you were going to the gym and your friend was like, hey, I'll meet you there at 5 a.m. Or a track workout. Hey, I'll meet you there at 5:30 a.m. And you don't show up. The first time it's going to be like, all right, well, it's all right. Well, the second time it's going to be like, what the fuck, man? Like, why'd you even tell me you were coming? Third time it's going to be like, dude, what's going on? Fourth time, you're not going to get that text. You're not going to get that call. Fifth time, still not going to come. Months down the road, it'll get brought back up, and then that text will come back. Hey, I'll be there at 5. I'll be there at 5:30. And it's on you to follow through with that so that way that person believes it. Our brain works the exact same way. We tell ourselves, I'm not going to do this week. I'm going to start doing X. But then we don't stop doing what we were doing and we don't follow through with X. And our brain is like, oh, all right, well, I'm still alive. I'm still breathing. I can't complain. Fuck it. I don't got to do it next time either. And then you say you're going to do it again and you don't do it. And pretty soon it becomes this pattern that you don't even realize. But when you tell yourself something, your brain is already checking it off like, oh, I don't have to do it. Let's go focus our attention over here. And it starts pulling you in areas that get you away from that goal or that thing that you're trying to achieve. And so with this world being such a big, daunting, scary, confusing, hectic, chaotic, but great place, we have to stay true to ourselves. We have to stay true to our word and to what we're telling ourselves, because if we're not showing up for ourselves daily, if we're not doing these things that we say we're going to do, then why should any of that momentum build? Why should any of that momentum change? Why should any of that momentum go in the direction of the things that we want, the things that we say that we want to achieve, that we want to go after? It's just like your work. They say they're going to give you a paycheck and they don't. You're going to be like, well, what the fuck? I want my paycheck. Yeah, we'll give it to you. Don't give you your paycheck. Don't give you your paycheck. You're going to start looking for another job. You have to start utilizing your brain and yourself as that main accountability partner, that main accountability companion that you have. Because there's nobody that's dictating. There's nobody that's telling you. There's nobody that's forcing you to do anything. So the stuff that you say is all dreams and aspirations of what you truly want to be in this life. And so as Dylan and I were working through season 1, and as we were going through it, there was a lot of weeks where it's like, dude, when the fuck are we going to get this done? Fred, you're traveling 6 out of 7 days of the week, and when you're back, I'm working my second job. I don't know, Dylan, when are we going to do it? I'd be like, Dylan, you have to work your second job and your first job, and you got to run and train for your marathon, and your family's coming in town, and you're leaving this weekend. When are we going to get it done? And there was a lot of times like this. But what's important to us is staying consistent and reminding ourselves that we made a commitment not only to ourselves to push this brand, but we made a commitment to the people that tune into it, that listen to it, that, use it for that motivation or that deep meaning that they need to find or get out of themselves to go after and tackle something. And so we didn't make excuses. There was not one week that we missed. There was one week that we almost missed, and we're like, should we just call season 1 now? It'll be a lot easier. Times are getting hectic, this and that, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, fuck that. That's the easy way out. And so we stuck to it, and we went after it, and we got after it. And through that, we had amazing conversations that will live on now for a lifetime. I often think of those episodes as like just something that lives like that week. But like my kids are going to be able to watch those one day. My family's going to be able to watch those one day. When I'm not here, people are going to be able to see and hear that one day. And I hope that our message and our word and the stuff that we say like resonates for time and time beyond. But the other part of why we're doing seasons and why that season ended, so outside of the consistency and holding yourself accountable, one message. The other message too is ending season 1 on a positive note. Positive note is however we ended season 1, whatever we did. If you want to hear, tune in. You'll hear how Dylan did in his race. But also look at, and we kind of talked about this in the podcast episode, look at sports teams. They have seasons. Look at concerts. They go on tour for a little bit, and that's a season for them. Look at any musician, look at any comedian, look at any school. Like you go through these seasons, or when you're in this season, you are trying to master and be better at your craft, at the things that you're doing, at your performance. You're studying film, you're doing all these different things to be able to win and achieve during that point of your life. So for instance, a football team has practice, and now they're in their season to try and win the Super Bowl. And that's their goal. They're going to grind every single week. But then there's the off season. And they take the off season, they give it a little time for themselves. But then what do they do on that off season? They work out. They get stronger. They get faster. They study film. They go over playbooks. They look back on past film. They study themselves to see how they can get better, how they can be better, and how they can do better to go back next season and be even more than what they were, to do even more than what they did, and to see that through to win that championship. And so that's how Dylan and I are approaching these seasons of the podcast. We had 100 episodes that solidified, and we put our flag in the ground that DTI is not fucking going anywhere, that they are here to stay, that we are going to build this and grow this community to the biggest heights that we can, one day at a time, one person at a time. But then season 1 started, and we had these goals, dreams, and aspirations for season 1. Boom, we did it. Now it's the off season. How do we get better? How does the studio look better? How does the sound quality improve? How does the camera quality improve? How do our conversations improve? How do we bring in more guests? How do we connect with more people? What do we do on the back end? What software can we be using? How do we promote this more? What can we use for editing? I'm getting goosebumps thinking about all this because it's the off season now. It ain't time to sit back and be like, all right, cool, see you in 4 to 6 weeks. No, now is when we have to put in the real work. Now is when we have to put in the real effort. And now is when we have to go harder than we ever have, so that way we can elevate in season 2. We can be better in season 2. We can see more things through in season 2. And that's how you have to be in life. And so I try and use these real world applications and things that I'm doing to hopefully resonate with you, to be like, well, shit, when was the last time that I was like, damn, I've been training a lot. Let me take a step back. Damn, I've been working a lot. Let me take a step back. Damn, I've been being a dad a lot. Let me take a step back. Just to evaluate and be like, how am I doing in this? What could I be doing better? What should I be working on? How can I improve? Is there something that I can do differently that would take me to the next? But we often don't sit there to reflect on the things that we're doing day in and day out. We just go through the motions of life. And with going through the motions of life, we get comfortable, we get stagnant, we get complacent. And it gets us in this weird rut that we don't even realize we're in until months, weeks, years down the road. And so how can you control that so that way you never get in that rut? So that way you're always coasting at an elevation. Take some time to sit back and reflect on this life that you're living, on the things that you're doing and the things that you want to achieve and accomplish. Reflect on those and look at them holistically. What is going into them? What am I doing? How am I doing this? What could I be doing different? What am I doing really good? What are some things I can improve on? There's always room for improvement. There's always room to be better. And if you don't have people around you that are pushing you to be better and challenging you to enhance yourself, that might be the first step, and that might be the first place that you need to start. Told Tone on the track that I enjoy going to these track workouts with him because he's a lot fucking faster than me right now. He's a lot more consistent than me right now in terms of his speed workouts and things, but that's because he's been putting in the reps and sets. And so if I didn't hang around people like him, how would I ever be better? I'd be going out there on my own, running that at my pace, at my leisure, at my effort. But I had him in my head the entire time. I gotta catch him. I gotta keep up. I'm gonna beat him one day. This is only the beginning. I still got 6 months of training. So take some time this weekend to reflect on yourself, to reflect on your life, and see how you can improve, how you can be better, how you can be different. And again, it's not pointing out all your flaws. This is not what that's about at all. So don't even look at your flaws, but rather just how do you take things, study the film to be better, to do more. So that way you can be more for those people that you love, for yourself and for your future. I'm proud of you. Have the desire to inspire. Go out there and influence one person every single day through the habits, actions, and patterns that you have in place. Keep living this lifestyle that you want to live. Change the things that you want to see change in. And keep going after it, baby. You got this. Have the desire to inspire. I'll talk to you soon. Peace out.